Hi, my name is Savon, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about social penetration theory, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about how social penetration theory connects to some of the research that I did on sales. First, I'm going to give you a brief introduction, tell you my hypothesis, go over my method, which includes my sample, procedure, my analysis, and give you the results of my research, give a brief discussion, talk about some of the limitations, things that are good and bad about the research that I did, and then end with a conclusion. And I'm also going to go over some of these keywords. Now, one thing you may know about me is that I work at Champs. It's a sneaker store, you know, like Foot Locker, Finish Line, Foot Action, we're Champs. And being a sales associate, I'm going to let you know something. From the time that you walk into that door to the time that you leave, we're watching you. Sounds kind of creepy, right? It's not like that. In order for us to give you the best experience possible, we have to analyze. We have to see things that you like and dislike, things that you picked up and put back. And then when you ask us a question, we use those things that we saw to help pick out the thing that best suits you. Connecting social penetration theory to sales is really quite simple. The more satisfied a customer is, the more likely they're willing to come back. Customer satisfaction deals with multiple things. One of the biggest things that I think customer satisfaction deals with is genuinity coming from a sales associate to a customer. When a customer feels as though a sales associate is being more genuine, not trying to just get her to buy him or her to buy the most expensive thing, but get them to buy the thing that suits them the best, I think that's when customer satisfaction comes in fact to be the best thing possible. So my hypothesis is simply this. Social penetration theory will help to reduce uncertainty in customers and aid in sales gains. So the more you go in breadth or depth with a customer, the more likely that they're willing to come back and spend more money. And talking about breadth and depth, breadth is simply superficial things when talking about a conversation. That's things like, your hair's red, I like your hair. Why'd you, color your hair red? Oh, well, it's just, I wanted to try something new. Or, I like your shoes. Yeah, I got them from Finish Line, but it's time to get some new ones, Or going in depth with a person, that's talking about more personal things. Gets to the core. Talking about things like maybe why you're upset. Maybe what brought you in today, and maybe talking about like some of your kids. And the fact that I work at Champs, I get the best of both worlds. So I kind of understand what it's like to be a sales associate and talking to a customer. And also, because I'm not always working, I'm still a customer when it comes to different stores. So I understand what it's like from the customer aspect and the sales associate aspect. And the thing that we have to realize from both perspectives is that not everyone's going to be having a good day. As a sales associate, I have to understand that if a customer walks in and doesn't greet me, he or she may just be having a bad day, and that's okay. And if he does greet me, then great. It's things that I can use to help you as a customer. Some of the methods that I used, my sample was simply college students. I used YSU students. I used students that went to YSU, ages 18 to 25 in my research. I thought using them were the best way to go, simply because as millennials, we're the ones that's out spending money. We go out, we spend countless hours at the mall, we spend money that we don't even have at these places. So who better to ask these questions to than people who spend money? My procedure, I used a survey. I put that survey on some of my social medias, Instagram and Snapchat. I use those two social media websites simply because I thought it was the fastest way to get results and to get the survey answered. Also, I was able to control my sample a little bit better because of the people that were on my Instagram and my Snapchat. So I kind of knew everyone who took the survey. I knew their age and I knew where they were. Now, my analysis. I thought it was best to use quantitative research in my research. Quantitative research did me a little bit better than qualitative just because the questions that I asked weren't diving too much into the specific things that a customer has to say or that a sales associate has to say to a customer, but more so the things that a sales associate does that lets the customer know that they're engaged and want to help. And some of my results simply went along with my hypothesis. It proved my hypothesis to be correct. I'm just gonna go over some of the results that I have for you right here. In question number 5, I asked, when going shopping, if an associate greets you, are you more or less likely to reply? Now I use the Likert scale, 1 being less likely, 5 being more likely, most likely. And most people said 5, 74% to be exact. Most people said 5, most people said that they are more likely to respond to a sales associate if they're greeted. Question number 6 asked, if an associate discloses information about themselves to you, is it more or less likely that you will return? Most people chose 3. So the more in depth or in breadth I go with a conversation with a customer, the more likely that they're likely to return. Because I'm simply engaging in conversation, which lets them know that I'm actually involved and want to help them. Question number 7 asks, if you get to know store associates, are you more or less likely to revisit that store? Most people said 4. Now that's the big one. The fact that you having good customer service, engaging in conversation with a customer will make them want to come back to the store is money right there in your pocket. That's sales. Sales is simply the money that people, or the money that people spend. Goals are the money that we get customers to spend. Relationships are those things when a customer comes in, speaks to a sales associate, and I build that interaction level with a customer, and they're so comfortable that they can come back and refer to me, and they'll always come back to my store. And then social penetration, which is simply, like I said, the breadth and depth of a conversation. Question number 8 asked, are you more or less likely to visit a store if an associate engages in conversation with you? Most people said 4, that they are more than less likely to revisit a store if an associate engages in conversation. So the more an associate engages in conversation, talks to a customer, lets them know that they want to help, the more likely a customer is going to come back and or buy something because they feel valued. Question number 9 asks, are you more or less likely to buy something if an associate is talking to you? Most people chose 4. The more you speak to a customer, the more likely they're willing to buy something because they're going to see something that they like. And the good thing about me as a sales associate is that I'm kind of deceptive. I tell them what I truly feel about something in the store. So those shoes may be ugly, but these shoes look even better on you. But that's what customers want. When we all go into a store and we ask a sales associate, how does this look? Or we ask some random customer how this looks, we always want a second opinion because it opens up our eyes to different options. We may not have thought that this outfit can go with that outfit or these shoes went with that jacket. But if you get an outside opinion, it sways your thought process. Question number 10 asked, if an associate sounds genuine, does it make you more or less likely to buy something? And most people chose 5. The more genuine you are, and not just trying to sell somebody the most expensive thing, but trying to sell someone the things that suit them best, customers are more likely to return to that store and or buy something. And I have a saying, I would much rather put more time and effort into the customer that comes to visit the store 2 to 3 times a week and spends $5,000 over the course of 6 months than a customer that comes in once every so often and spends $500 to $600 when they come in. That customer that comes in more often is more likely to spend more money simply because they're visiting the store more. And it's just facts that when you see something that you like, you are more likely to buy that because you've entered the store rather than not entering the store at all. So my results are simple. It proved my hypothesis to be correct. Social penetration theory aids in sales and customer interaction. Now, talk about my discussion. This study regarding social penetration theory in sales and organizations. Social penetration theory does help to reduce uncertainty and aid in customers spending more money. Ultimately, this research just gave another outlook on customer experience in sales. Most people don't think about social penetration theory being connected to sales because we're just shopping. But all those little things, those intricate details that go along with a customer and a sales associate's relationship and interaction are the very things that aid in sales, goals, and ultimately in the best relationship possible for a customer. Now, some of the limitations of this research were that I didn't talk about, I didn't survey, in my survey, I didn't ask who was taking the survey, whether they were male or female. I didn't ask the gender, which that's something that can be used in further research. Are women more likely to want social penetration theory, or are men more likely to want social penetration theory? And to kind of, I guess, dive into that question is just simply asking, are men or women more likely to want a customer to engage with them, and would that lead to more sales? Now, sales is a mystery to some, period. If you aren't a sales associate and you've never been in that type of environment, you may not know, but we're all customers. We all buy things. And if you ask yourself these simple questions about a sales associate's interaction with you, I think that you'll find to see that my hypothesis was correct. The more genuine a sales associate is, the more they talk to you, the more they show you that they're involved and that they want to help you and that they're not just trying to get you to buy the most expensive thing, the more you're likely to buy something. I know I am, especially with things like returns or a sales associate not just labeling me a certain kind of way and just trying to make sure I'm not stealing. All these little things that us as sales associates can do to help make a customer feel more comfortable will all in the end aid in sales.